Thinking about blocking the 6 for red and blue. Poor red's going to get another resource blocked, but Joe's going to take from blue, deciding where to block. So when you're deploying your robber, you want to think about where would it hurt your opponent the most. So Joe smartly decides to block the wheat, which is really only blue's strongest wheat resource. It's also a double, 2 settlements. Joe is trading in. He has already gotten a victory point, and with this draw, the development card is a knight. So technically, Joe is 1 knight away from securing largest army and jumping to 8 points. He's got 2 brick in hand. Blue has 7 points with 2 cards and is just blocked by red. The reason that red blocked blue is because Joe is actually showing 5 points, and red really doesn't think that Joe has the potential maybe to jump to 8 points really quick. So blue is blocked. This is good for Joe. Poor red still has 2 points. This is looking really bad. Both blue and Joe will probably trade with red without hesitation. I don't think red can come back. If he does, it will be one of the greatest Catan games I have ever witnessed. But today, I think the game is between Joe and blue. Play goes to Joe, who has 5 brick and just got 3 sheep. He can trade in to get the resources that he needs for another development card. He is hoping for a soldier that will guarantee him the largest army and technically give him 8 points, jumping ahead of blue. He does get the knight. Joe now has 1 victory point in his hand that gave him 6 points, and he has the remaining 2 knights in his hand that will give him 8 points. So technically, even though Joe to the other players is showing 5 points, he is good for 8 points. Blue, meanwhile, gets 2 rock and 2 wheat, which is 1 shy of a city at 7 points. If blue can build a city this turn, let's see if he does. No, he just rolled. We'll see if he can do it. He'll jump to 8 points. He has 6 cards. All he needs is 1 wheat. No ports for blue. Blue's thinking. He does. He builds a city on the 10, increasing his chances on the 11. Tripling the 10, Joe rolls and gets 2 sheep on the south. He's already acquired his knights. He doesn't really need development cards. He could probably trade in for possibly wheat. Trying to see if someone will trade him wheat. Maybe red, who's out of the game. He uses his 3-to-1 port and trades in 3 brick for 1 wheat. He's going to try and get 1 wheat from one of the players. If he does, he'll be able to trade in his 2 sheep and get his city and jump to possibly 9 points. He also has to think about deploying his knight because he has 2. It'll take him 2 rounds to get the largest army, and blue has 8 points. Joe's trying to offer a lot for the wheat. Red says, sorry, I don't have it. Can't help you there. I've got 2 points, but I don't got wheat. Joe's going to try to offer sheep for brick. Oh, and blue bites. Sometimes if you take a long time, you can win through attrition and someone will just trade with you. And I'm not sure if that's the case, but blue thinks it's to his advantage to trade with Joe. What he doesn't know is he's just given Joe a city, jumping Joe to 9 points. Technically, with his knights hidden in his hand. Is he going to play a knight? Remember, he's got 2 rounds before he can get the largest army. He's playing the knight and is going to definitely attack blue, who has 8 points and 2 cards. This will bring blue down to 1 card. Joe blocks wheat, which is good because wheat gives cities and settlements, which are both points. It also produces development cards. Wheat is probably the most important card in the game. Blue has a long shot chance at an 11, which I don't think he's going to roll. And red has built his third settlement. The crowd goes wild. Joe politely gives a congratulatory message to red, who, I gotta hand it to red, seems like a very humble player and is sticking with the game. Sometimes people will quit the game when they're this far behind, but red is hanging in there. So hats off to red. Play goes to blue. Blue has 8 points and is looking to expand. He might take the middle. He might go to the coast, but this will give him his 9th point. I still think blue is a little away from victory. Joe technically has 9 points with the knight in hand. He needs just 1 more point. How is he going to get it? He's got 4 sheep that he can trade in for 2 cards. He's going to patiently wait, and he's gotten 2 rock. So he just needs 1 more card. He needs a rock or a wheat because he can trade in his 4 sheep for the 2 cards that will make up the city, and that will give him the victory. Meanwhile, blue has acquired 8 cards and rolls a 2, which is a long shot 2, which gives Joe another rock, and that, my friends, is game. There'll be no trading. All we have to do is wait for blue to pass. I don't think he can make 2 points. At most, he can build a road, possibly try to get a development card. He's got to know that this game is winding down. I don't think he knows that Joe has a victory point. Meanwhile, blue is going to get another card stolen, and it doesn't matter because Joe has enough cards to make the city. He's going to trade in the sheep to get the 2 wheat that he needs to round out his number to 10. All he has to do now is play his knight. He's just got 8 points with the victory point. He's played his knight. This gives him 10 points. He's giving the GG. This is game. GG from blue. Great play by blue. Went for the largest army. Hats off to red for sticking in the game. I'm sure red has learned a lot in this game. And congratulations to OregonJoe, who pulled off a victory from the beginning, had the strategy to go for largest army, and he got it. He used his sheep port to trade in for the things he needed to build his roads, to expand some more, and his dominant position on the 10 and the 5 rock and wheat allowed him to get cities and dominate the board. This has been a great game by OregonJoe, and you have witnessed another episode of Settlers TV. So tune in next time for more tips, strategy, and tactics on your favorite game, Settlers of Catan. See you next time.